Let's start with the Musketeers. They beat University of Victoria out of Canada 80-68. Desmond Claude had 21 points. Quincy Oliveri had 18. Freshman Trey Green had 13. And Davion McKnight, the transfer from Western Kentucky, had 12 in that game. And then beat Raw Talent Elite, an all-star team of sorts out of the Bahamas. That was just absolutely dreadful. 123-58.
Sure. Yeah, when you hear the score, yeah, sure. Yeah, they were elite.
Yeah, exactly. I think Paul Fritchner on my Xavier podcast was calling them very raw, no talent elite. Quincy Oliveri had 23 points in that game. Desmond Claude had 22. Reed Ducharme had 17. Kachi Enza had 15. And Trey Green had 12 in that one. So a lot of production there from the freshmen for Xavier. Skinny, I'm guessing you probably didn't watch a lot of these exhibition games in the Bahamas, but looking at the box scores, what stood out to you? Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that could Desmond Claude become a 16 to 18 point per game scorer, or is this just kind of the product of there was no Zach Freemantle, the level of talent you were playing against? I think it's a good sign that he played as well as he did, though, offensively. Can he? I don't want to say can he be a Sule Boom, because that's probably not fair, but can he be a mid-teens to 17 point per game guy?
I've got a different name for you that I think he's going to try to replace this year and fit very seamlessly into the offense in this role. Colby Jones. They've moved him to the wing. He's more of like that small forward now. Heck, he was even playing the 4 at a few times when they went to small ball lineups. And they're putting him in a lot of the same positions in the offense that they put Colby Jones in last year. I don't think he's as good of a shooter as Colby was last season, but I think he's very similar to where Colby was, maybe going into a sophomore year at Xavier, and Colby got better as he went. But as a driver and with his handle and his athletic ability, I think he's a better ball handler. I think he's very similar athletically and size-wise to Colby. I don't know that he's going to be as good as Colby Jones was last year, because mind you, Colby Jones just got drafted and got a guaranteed contract from the Kings. So he was a very good player, and he really carried Xavier in a lot of ways last year. I think Desmond Claude can do a lot of similar things, and this was a great start for him to show that he has taken that sort of alpha role on as I want to be the go-to guy, and he looked the part, certainly, in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I think I told you after that first game they played, and I was looking at the box score, I totally forgot about Davion McKnight. I mean, he's a legit nice player.
Well, I was really impressed with him because it's nice to put up numbers, but you score that much on a team like Western Kentucky, who really did not have a good year at all and got their coach fired. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, great, he scores a lot, but does he contribute to winning? Does he do winning things? And I was really impressed with how he ran the team as a point guard. Second game, he had 10 assists, 2 turnovers. The first game, he was really running the offense against a legit team. University of Victoria obviously wasn't as talented as Xavier. Xavier probably should have won by more than they did, but they were in the final four last year in Canada. They were a 1 seed in their tournament. Like, they are a legit program that's competitive every single year in their end of the year tournament. So I think that was a legit competition. And Davion McKnight against their defense was really comfortable, not only playing fast the way Sean Miller now wants to play in the offense, but getting Xavier into their offense, knowing when to play fast and push the pace, but also when to probe the defense, pull it back out, get into your offense and run some things and set up your teammates. So yeah, I was really defensively too. He was great defensively. There's a guy for University of Victoria named Diego Garcia he averaged 25 points a game last year, can really shoot the ball. Fun player to watch. And McKnight was kind of tasked with guarding him throughout that game. He got, I think, 25 in that game, but he took 23 shots to do it. And McKnight did a pretty good job against him. So it was a good game to watch for McKnight, I thought.
So then my last question to you would be about it is how much do they need Zach Freemantle back, especially offensively?
I think they definitely do. The front court is behind the backcourt, without question. They brought in the new guys. You had Abu Usman from North Texas. You had Logan Duncombe from Indiana. Both of those guys had a few moments, but quite honestly, they didn't stand out against lower level competition here. So I think a lot of fans are looking at it saying, what's that mean for Big East play? And that's not to say these guys can't play or they can't contribute, but from an offensive standpoint, especially, you're going to need that firepower from Zach Freemantle in the front court, I think. Now, we can talk about some other news because they did just add another piece. They went out and we talked about the Lithuania transfer. They had added Gytis Demeksha a couple weeks ago. He was a transfer. He might only have 1 year of eligibility. They also went out and just got a freshman from Serbia, 6'9", 6'10-ish guy, face-up player, Lazar Djokovic, who it's hard to tell where he would rank if he was a prospect in the United States, but Skinny at his size with his skill set and some athleticism to go with it. I mean, he really tore it up in the FIBA U19 World Cup, which if you followed all this year, USA did not win. They finished third or fourth in that event. Right. So the legit competition, he tore it up, looked really good. I think it's hard to imagine that he wouldn't be a top 100 prospect if he were over here in the United States playing high school ball, entering college. So I think to find a guy like that this late in the process in August, right before you start your season, a guy that looks like he might be able to contribute and give you a little bit more firepower on offense, I think it's possible this freshman plays right away for Xavier and gets in the mix early on.
Yeah, so then you have four legit. If he's a legit scorer, you got maybe four legit scorers where McKnight can score, Fremantle can certainly score, Desmond Claude can score, maybe this kid can score, and then whatever your fifth guy is and whatever your bench becomes at that point.
Well, I'll say Quincy Oliveri looked great too. The transfer from Rice, he can really shoot it from the outside. He had 23 points in that second game and led them. Now, again, the competition was horrible in the second game, but open threes are open threes. If you're making threes at a high clip, that goes a long way regardless of who the competition was, and he did that in both games. So I think Quincy Oliveri will definitely be in the starting lineup because they need his shooting. And like you said, figuring out the scoring in the front court from there will be a big priority as we get closer to the season.